Welcome to another episode of the Your Round podcast with me, Gavin, and
John Lebin. I hate doing the start of it. It feels like news, doesn't it? You know, when you watch the news, you think, oh my God, that's so cringe.
I want to do it like that, though. I think it's just much more formal. Or we could go more personal as well, actually. But yeah, we're starting doing 2 segments of the podcast as well, aren't we?
Well, one goes out, one for just the Patreons. The first thing this week, I noticed, have you seen the Oasis concerts where the people now, for heating the event, they're hiding their drugs?
At Heaton Park, is that?
Heaton Park, yeah.
Ah, right. I went. That's when I seen them. I think it was the second to last show that they'd done. It was absolutely fantastic. But I think back in them days, you could take as many drugs in as you wanted. So what? They're literally
They're going to hide
digging holes in.
Well, I'm assuming so. If you like cocaine, how would you get myself to Heaton Park and have a look? Anything, it won't be moles, will it? Anywhere that's been dug up, I'll just be finding bags all over the spot, won't you?
People trying to throw you off the scent with like cuddly moles and stuff like that. I'd be like, that mole isn't even
hanging
real.
In trees and stuff like that. What's that up there?
I'm sure before big events like that anyway, so they take the dogs and that around and stuff, don't
But if it's underground, saying that though, even if the concert's on, it's going to look really weird. You taking a shovel. No, just looking for worms. Oh, yeah.
Let's take a metal detector as well and just go for it, just like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, eh?
Yeah, it seems
beep, 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 beep.
These days, people just get drugs in, don't they? Like, where did we go? We went to a music event, and they had a sniffer dog on the front. I think that was just someone's dog.
Yeah,
because there was people going past. I thought he's got drugs. The dog was people just stroking it and stuff like that. I thought they've just got a Springer, someone's Springer, like a fat Springer. Normally they're dead hyper.
Fat Springer.
Some fat Springer sat on the door, probably for when police come by. Like, oh yeah,
I can only sniff food. No drugs like that.
You see the ones in the airport, they're all jumping all around everything.
Yeah,
that was sat there. It looked like he was going to have a nap. They were just stroking it, going past it off the tits.
Thing. But they've got all these ingenious ways. I find them quite smart, some of them, to smuggle even drinking. Because drink costs a fortune at these things. Never mind drugs. Not that I know how much drugs cost at these things, but some of the things are dead smart. Like hats even with like bits that come out and caps that literally can pour like your whiskey out
put
of.
It in the bra, can't they? Like if you were taking
I think they get searched.
Inside the bra pouch?
Apparently, yeah. I'll find out more because I've applied to be a security guard on one of these.
She's got drugs. Oh, she hasn't.
What's here? Underboob sweat.
Are you going to search the men? No.
Like just grabbing them by the nuts on the way past. You'll behave. Sadly, didn't get tickets to Heaton Park this time. I never tried though, did you?
No, it was one of them. But like, there's people like I loved it on the internet where people were saying like, "Oh, I love Oasis. Got my tickets buzzing. Have they got any other songs than Wonderwall?" It's just a thing to do, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think
to say you've been there and done it when reality is they've got back together, make a bit of money. It's not the authentic kind of.
Well, everyone's just doing it because everyone else is doing it, isn't it? It's how we live, isn't it? Society now. So, like, you see a few influential people, like, when you're like, well, I've got to go. And you're like, do you like Oasis? Like, there's people on my timeline buzzing, they've got tickets, and I thought, I'm sure you're not a massive fan.
No,
like, I know we like it and stuff like that, but I see a few people like.
But it is that social thing again, though, isn't it? It's like you said, never mind being there. They're not asked about that bit.
Just be stood
it's
with the
posting
like
with the tickets
yeah,
on social media. Say, look what I got. Like, yeah. You should have been there last time. I think there was like 80,000. So I think this was the one before the split up. There was the Enemy, them, Kasabian. It's absolutely class. I can remember thinking, I've never been anywhere covered in piss like this in my life, but enjoying myself. And I mean, covered in piss as well. I can remember it being that
pouring it on yourself.
Honestly, I can remember it shocked me because I'd never been out like that. But people obviously throwing them and getting covered, and some of the lads had. But then I can remember like not wanting to go to the toilet, groups of lasses and stuff, and like try and have a piss on the sly like everyone was. By the end of it, it was just pulling your pants down, having a piss in the thing, and then looking down and thinking, I didn't get them down far enough. Just covered in piss.
Well, that's I don't like people go to.
It was fantastic.
Kendall Calling and stuff like that. I couldn't do 3 days without shower and stuff.
No.
And just I like to feel clean. Even like if we go out for the day drinking, I like to have a shower before we go back out and stuff. I don't like people like I didn't even change my underpants for 4 days. Like just too much of a fucking.
What a bloody soft get like.
I am. That's what I mean. I like to be warm.
No, I'm same. Like I say, I'd do it for that day, but I had to go back to a hotel. I wouldn't have been camping or out like that.
Well, people complain about Liam Gallagher's voice at the the fight. Who was
The
fighting?
Joshua
Joshua
fight, yeah.
And people were like, oh my God, got tickets for that. And you're like, that's exactly what he sounds all the time. Liam Gallagher sounded like Liam Gallagher. He's not known for his good voice, is he? Like, that isn't why people like the songs and stuff, is it? Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, he's just got that mank. He's just talking almost. That's why you go to on karaoke is Oasis for everyone, because they're easy to sing, even if you can't sing.
You do Uncle Cracker?
No, I do a lot of Oasis as well.
Do you want in your spare time? When the fuck is this your separate life when you're doing karaoke?
I'm renowned in Tenerife at that Treasure Island bar, whatever it's called, with the pirates and that walking around. Went through a stage, me and a fat guy who looked like Peter off Family Guy, trying to outdo each. You know when you try and outdo someone else on the karaoke? Well, you've not done it, but never talked to him. Don't know where he's from, but he's doing one, having a little side glance at me. I'm getting up, getting the crowd going, and then he's doing the same, and it's almost like just respect at the end of the night.
Well, when I go to karaoke, I love how like people aren't trying to be competitive, but they are. So like, soon as someone gets up, like, and then they come off, it's all that clapping, and you're like, oh, shit, absolutely shit. Like that, just dead false, isn't it? You're like, oh.
You see them like warming up in the toilet, they're like, I'm just doing it for a laugh, and then they're like in the toilet going, do, ra, mi, so, fa, la.
Well, I seen one guy, he's like, oh, I've never done this one before. Like doing it, probably, I've never done this, and he just turned to the crowd and like, and he wasn't even using the words. And I thought, if you've never done it before, how do you know every single word?
And the dance moves.
Coming off like that, guys, I love it. I love being around that sort of atmosphere.
It's just family bars and stuff like that on holiday are amazing.
I watched a guy do Stan Eminem to his bird in Bulgaria, and his kid was at the back with a towel over it. It was about 1 a.m. There's prams at the back and stuff like that, and his bird was just swaying towards him like that, you know, like it was like no one else was in the room, and he was just doing Stan. Like, I've never heard Stan on the karaoke, and he killed it. Not killed it in a good way, just absolutely killed it. And then at the end, he just dropped the mic and hugged her. And I thought, is this reality?
Did you get a round of applause? Like, was everyone?
There's only about 8 people in. I clapped. I was like,
that's even more awkward.
I thought, this is mental.
You.
Just doing it, like they were just talking, like I think it was their song or something, and she was pointing at a tattoo and stuff, and I thought, oh God.
What a romantic song, Stan. Is that not the one where a Dido ends up in the trunk of a car?
Yeah. I wrote you last time, Stan, you know, like.
Yeah. The kid didn't have bleach blonde hair as well.
It was just like a proper scruff. And I loved it. I just sat there about 10 days, think this is just me.
Absolutely.
Love people watching.
Amazing, aren't they? What goes on in them family bars for people watching? If you just want a cheap time on holiday, you could sit in one all day long just watching the world go by, because you get some fantastic people coming through the doors.
When it was COVID, I can remember I was in Blackpool in that one Central Pier on the outside bit.
Yeah.
And you weren't allowed to stand up and stuff like that. Remember in the day you weren't allowed to dance when COVID
was that mental, wasn't it?
And this woman kept dancing, and the bouncers kept, and she'd go, let's have free country, I can dance with her. Like her and her husband. Well, the son was there. He was about 4. She'd snuck, she was dancing, and she had a bottle of gin. So they kept saying, you've got a bottle of gin. She's going, who's got a fucking bottle of gin? And I thought, I can see, like, they weren't even taking it off the table in the end. They were just pouring it in. Them two absolutely steaming. They got, like, couldn't even stand up at the end. They both got kicked out, and then the kid went and sat down at the table. I was like, who's looking after the kid?
Oh, like,
well, it was just, they were just that steaming. I thought, is it? And the Lala just ended up going. I thought, like, I was like, what happened to the kid? Is he all right? Or Mum and Dad's still on the gym?
Having a pint? I hope he's going to be all right.
Unbelievable, some people. I just think it's class.
It is. I've had a drink. I've never got absolutely gutted when we've had Nyla, like, say we're on an all-inclusive on a resort. You know you can have a couple and stuff, but I've never got paralytic or out like that. I couldn't do it. It's just mental, isn't it? I think some people get that little taste of freedom, even if they're with the kids, and a bit of a drink, a bit of sea air, and they're just like, fuck this. Let's get on it. He'll be all right. Right. What else has been going on, John?
There's a guy in Pasadena in America, and he's pissing in bottles and just leaving them in spots. So they're trying to find the phantom pisser in Pasadena. Some TikTokers and that are like out there trying to find him. But why didn't you just piss on the floor? Or why didn't you pour it out or just put it in a bin?
He just got upset when I said the wrong thing. I could have done with him at Heaton Park. I would have been as covered in piss.
Well, even better, why didn't you just piss on the toilet?
Yeah, that would be the best thing to do.
Even better than all them things, isn't it?
Yeah. He was never trained. Maybe he was never trained or something like that.
Oh, so he was trained to piss in bottles? I don't think you need potty trained when you're an adult, do you? A phantom pisser.
That would be my defence, so if it went to court, I'd be like, blame me mum and dad, I was never potty trained. I like that. Still don't wipe my own bum. What the fuck? There's some strange people about, isn't there? But I do love them sort of stories as well.
Well, I think they're trying to find him. It's like the phantom shitter at school and stuff, isn't it? I don't think they ever will, because I don't know why them people are just out there, aren't they? I think they're just class at what they do. Because we never found out who was shitting in our school, did we? Just every now and again, someone come back from the toilet. Oh my god, there's shit on the floor.
Shitting in the urinal.
Oh, shitting in the urinal on the floor.
Thanks.
There's bound to be just that one child in school that was just like, that's terrible, isn't it? I wonder if he'd done it at home as well. Or is it just one of them things he does at school? Just think that person who was shitting on the floor at school has got a family that know. He's going to live with that. Phantom shooter. Imagine if he just come out like years later.
Every workplace has one a lot of the time as well. Yeah. It's rife. They must like go through this thing, or there must be different stages. There must be them who've shit at school and got out the system, or then they've carried on and thought, fuck, I'm going to do it in a work environment as well. Or then that thought, oh, missed the boat at school. This is my chance. Like just dropping the keks and having his shit in a sink.
I think it's like, do you reckon it's the danger thing?
It's got to be, hasn't it?
Because there's a nightclub in Halifax, and I think they've got a phantom shit he keeps doing it on the dance floor. So I just think like it must be one of them where you're like, oh, like the adrenaline rush or something.
On the dance floor. It's brilliant.
It's the oldest nightclub or something. I can't remember what it's called in Halifax, but they've got a phantom shit on the dance
walking
floor.
Through a human turd while you try.
Well,
all right, darling. You're keeping all. Oh God, I have stuff stood in white dog shit.
Well, sometimes on a night out in on the dance floor and that, you don't like looking down because you feel like you're standing on glow sticks, bottles, and stuff like that. Shit.
Victims.
Human shit.
Oh, that would be honking, wouldn't it? I'd be fuming. No.
Because it'd be like a serial killer, because serial killers can like kill and then they always end up having to go back, most of them, like 99%. And I can imagine the phantom
to the scene of the crime. And
yeah, so that they might get joy in like everyone, that's disgusting. That might be where they get the kick. So when we were in school, that person who was in our class our year or whatever will have been buzzing that we were saying it was horrible and that. Could have been you actually, couldn't it?
Could have been you. Just sitting in the Halifax nightclub with your bottle like,
it's time.
It's kicking off.
You'd have to
if you couldn't go, you'd have to go like that. It must be all the in from like
that's what I was thinking.
Early on.
Like doing like a slut drop and just like something like that, you know, like
pretend to fall over when you used to do that, like oh no, oh I've shit myself. But walking in, if you're on the desk and you work at this Halifax nightclub, just keep your eye out for someone walking in with stomach cramps because you've been saving it up all week for your dance. So like, just one place.
I wonder if he shits on the dance floor and then goes straight home, or does he wait to see the carnage unfold?
I reckon, like you said, it's I don't think it's a psychopathic tendency, but they're going to get some out of it, so they must stay at the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Just a fella in the corner with 2 toilet rolls stuck up his nose full of smell. Like, I reckon that could be it.
I bet it's someone you definitely expect as well, wouldn't it? You'd be like, yeah, thought it would be him. The other thing that I seen this week was Bruce Willis. In his will, he's only leaving his kids £1 million each, and that was like a bit like, wow, only £1 million.
Tight get.
Imagine being left £1 million, because I think people are outraged. Like, £1 million's not bad.
A lot of these, there's a lot of them not leaving the kids out as well. So
being spoilt as bad is like child abuse, I think, for kids. It just it makes them weak children, doesn't it? If they're overly spoilt, you get like some of them rich kids. You're like, God, they're not like, don't come across very normal, do they?
They don't communicate at the same kind of level as most of society do they? They can't have like it's got to be about that narcissistic. You breed like narcissism and everything else, I reckon, by giving them all. Like, my daughter's spoiled as hell, to be fair. But I do believe in that, and people who spoil the kids always come out with this as a defence, like I do, is, oh, they appreciate it though. Here, have this. Look how much she appreciates it. Said thank you there. I think as long as someone does appreciate it, it doesn't matter. But a lot of these are just, it's like the expectation, isn't it? They should have his money.
I think when you get older, it's not good to have when you spoil, because when you get to 16, 17, it's too much of a reality check. for people, isn't it? Like, oh, what do you mean? I always get what I want, and then because of that used to it, I don't think it's
50 Cent. He done the same. His thing with his son, I think he's 27, and he got upset, didn't he? Because he'd stopped giving him. I think he was giving him like 10, 12 grand allowance a month, that's probably peanuts for 50 Cent. But still, it's a principle, isn't it? Like you say.
I just get a tenner.
Imagine getting 10, 12 grand. Oh, yeah, it wasn't pocket money.
No, I never used to get pocket money.
You get pocket money?
No,
I didn't.
You just have to ask. You like go on snooker, think, oh God, will I get this £1.50?
Well, there's a reason I'm short, isn't there? How many jobs did I have when I was like 12, 13? We had 2 paper shops in our town. I had every paper round in one of them. I used to get up at 5 in the morning and I was late for school every day to earn a bit of money.
I used to waste it though, didn't you?
I used to buy pick a mix,
you like buy 15 quid a pick a mix, have a mouthful and I feel sick and throw it in the river. Well, why have 4 jobs if you just got to throw pick a mixes in the river?
It's stunted me growth.
Then you go and buy your fly fishing rod that you didn't use or something like that. You just got just sort of random every week. I just bought a flat cap. You're like, how much? Exactly what my paper round was.
I did get a flat cap, didn't I? Yeah. I was trendy like.
Busting my ass for this money. You're like, what a waste.
But I think that's the point as well, though. I never got pocket money like you didn't. But I think when I started getting money, I've always been bad with it because I didn't learn because I never had money. And again, it's an easy get out, but I do think there's some truth in that sometimes.
I don't think being special needs helps.
No, definitely just yeah. Not knowing what 20 and 20 adds up to didn't help. Yeah. How much for the 10p mix again? 20 quid. Oh, spot on.
He bought a DVD player once on the Saturday and bought some video DVDs. This was when we were working, we had jobs.
Telling the DVDs, some good ones, wasn't there, with it?
I can't remember what there was.
It was a bargain. Calcium Kid.
Oh, I can't remember that.
And Where He Bites the Curb.
A couple of Dolph Lundgren ones that were right to DVD and a few like that. And I'm sure he bought it for 100 quid on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday,
there's a lot of money then as well. That was a quarter of my monthly wage.
And then on the Sunday, you realise you've got no money for the rest of the month and you need to recoup it. So he sold it to me for 40 quid with the DVDs. And I felt bad, but I thought, well, and you were going, well, I just need the cash.
Because we used to go out, didn't we, Thursday through when we were that age, like 18, early 20s and stuff. You were out every night of the week nearly. And I needed the money, yeah. I couldn't have all the mod cons because I wanted to go out, so I couldn't afford toothbrushes, couldn't afford...
You get paid monthly, didn't you? And your money would be gone by the second day.
Oh, easy.
And then you'd just be in debt the next thing.
Me and our best mate. So our best mate used to get paid halfway through the month. So he would lend me for 2 weeks and I would lend him for 2 weeks. Yeah. It's worth it.
The other thing that I seen, it's weird as now, was, did you see that story about that lad that's filming his own mum's OnlyFans account?
I did.
Like, how weird it, like back in the day with
She's
your mum.
tidy, to be fair.
Oh, but it was still with your mum, wasn't it? You know, imagine that, go on. Oh, that girl was looking fantastic. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it'd just be weird, wouldn't it? I couldn't think about worse. And like, does he give feedback like, Mum, that is sexy. That is, oh yeah, you're going to love this. More naked, more flaps, come on. Like that, you're like, fucking hell.
Derek's online on the video call, Mum. He said, can you take it all?
Brian's saying, put something in there. Come on, Mum. Let's go.
You're like, oh my God.
Surely she could get someone else or do it herself or something like that.
She's not making fuck all on OnlyFans if she can't afford someone to do it for her.
Well, it's like them people who breastfeed when they're about 8-year-old and stuff like that. It's the best milk for them. You're like, oh God.
A lot of people might get fired up over this because it is a thing. Because people do come with that argument to say, well, it is good for you. It's full of goodness.
I bet it's not good for him at school.
I bet it's not good for a wife's tits.
Yeah.
You imagine 8 years of sucking on them, polishing her shoes. Olden. Fuck that.
In 4 months' time, 2015, it's going to be 10 years ago, I seen that come up the other day and I thought, oh my God. Like 2015 to me, it doesn't feel that long ago.
No.
And now you're looking at it like God, how old are we? It's like...
The millennium doesn't feel that long
No,
ago.
that's what I mean, yeah. I seen someone doing a TikTok the other day saying, what's old? And I went, anyone born before the 2000s? And they were like appalled. And you're like, God. Well, like when we were younger, we're like them people who like 60s music. We're that type of people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are we old fogies?
I went for a night out the other week and the music was too loud and I didn't have a seat. I thought, oh my God, what have I turned into?
You do know I've started noticing it all.
No, too loud in here. It's jumping in here, not for me, not for me.
Do you know what I done last night? My Saturday night consisted of, I know you went out and actually were normal, and I am a bit quirky like, but I was sitting in bed with my wife. She was watching TV, and I was going through Puzzler, like the monthly with crosswords. Like I was up till 1 a.m. trying to finish a crossword off.
That's fucking tragic.
It is. How bad is it? Yeah. And do you know what? I can't wait to get home today because it's bath night. So that's something I still do from when I was younger.
Does your dad still make it, or do you do it on your own?
No, I do it off my own back these days. Yeah, just once a week on the Sunday. Yeah, bit of bubble bath and puzzler, and that's me. Have a Horlicks before bed, and yeah, wait to die.
Well, it's like if you have a late night now, fucking kills me for days. Like I drank the other week till like 3 or something. I think it killed me for like 3 days.
I'll be bad fell.
Oh, it's just because like even having an hour less sleep now, like oh god, going to bed early tonight sort of thing.
And we always did. Like, I mean, you see these going to a beef for these days, and I'm not tarring everyone with the same brush, but it's not the same drinking culture and that we used to have. So we used to go to a beef, didn't we? We'd go for the week, and we were plastered every night of the week.
No, there was always one night we didn't drink, wasn't out the 7.
Maybe
always one, wasn't there? Yeah. Everyone either like had a rest that night or someone. There was always just...
And you get the bigger shakes on that night and literally feel like death. But it was very rare. Even now, over the last decade, going on stags or going away to Benidorm for 3 nights or whatever, you're steaming for 3 days straight.
I never eat. I'm one of them. I'll drink until I don't drink anymore. Don't eat, and I don't remember anything. You're like, what a state.
I couldn't see them doing that now, though.
No.
And I feel dead disrespectful saying it about young lads today, but I've worked with young lads, and they come in, they're like, you never guess what we done last night. Had a couple of shandies. He had 3 pints on a Wednesday, and you're like, you don't see, but I feel like almost saying, you're sort of fucking pathetic. Like, oh my God.
Well, culture change, isn't it? It's like our local rugby club on a Thursday. The odd time people go for a drink after training, like all meet up.
Yeah.
Whereas now, that would never happen down the rugby club. They have quiz nights and stuff like that.
They had a coffee morning, didn't they?
Oh, what's that, mate? It's more that sort of crack now, isn't it? Whereas, like, imagine suggesting that 15 years ago.
We'd have wrecked the spot.
Yeah.
Instead of what?
I would have been asking if I was all right. You all right? You all right? Everything all right, though?
Like having a coffee morning?
Oh, yeah. Just a time to have a bit of a chinwag with the lads.
Well, I'm considering cake at coffee morning now, to be fair. I'm all for them, to be honest. Take the old puzzler down, like I said.
Well, I was thinking at rugby the other day, someone dropped a ball and someone said, you wouldn't drop it if it was a pie. And I thought in a couple of years' time, you won't be able to say that'd be body shaming, isn't it? That'll be one of them things where you'd be like, can we just have a thing with HR here? Not on.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, that could upset quite a lot of people, that shout, couldn't it? Dropping a bomb, it's bad enough, but then, yeah, you wouldn't have dropped that if it was a pie. There'll be tears.
Yeah.
Open age and kids.
Sorry, I just got really triggered.
I would still play. Couldn't drop that if it was a pie. No, I fucking wouldn't. All right. Oh, God.
Oh, testers then. Ginsters like that.
Yeah, putting a ginsters up. Just booing it.
Hoist the ginsters up, see how that goes.
Pastry all over the spot. The fucking pastry got in my eye, didn't it? There used to be that, and I can remember always getting pulled a shirt puller.
Oh yeah, I hate tackling. It was one of them. I don't know why people got excited about tackling. That's some of that rugby league ruined. Like they're like, it makes 60 tackles a game. You're like,
yeah.
The emphasis is too much on defence.
Oh
yeah, but the emphasis is too much on defence in rugby league. It's made the game not as good. Whereas like that's why I like Bevan French and people like that now, where they can make a break and stuff.
Absolutely.
And people like neutrals would rather watch that than like, God, look at his defence round the ruck. Unbelievable. Like I think you look at like in rugby league, the most watched videos online, it's always the fights.
Yeah.
Big hits or best tries, isn't it?
Of course it is.
So in rugby league, that's what they should be marketing as their sport on.
It don't get us wrong, as a spectator, if you do pick up on someone making 50 tackles without having been told by the TV or like whatever analytics, you'd think it was admirable, someone making, especially compared to rugby union, who they might make 13 tackles in national.
The problem in rugby
making
league
50, but you don't go there to watch that.
No.
You'd hold your hand up and say, he's a tackling machine. But if it was 0-0 and all these tackling machines, you'd come away thinking, that was fucking shite.
Well, the problem with how the thing with the tackling in rugby league, how they like count them up.
Yeah.
Just say there was a tackle there in rugby league, and I just touch it, I'm counted in that tackle.
I didn't
Because when I used to play
realise.
for Whitehaven, I used to be on the wing, and we had the same thing on the computer.
Right.
And I'd be getting to like 60 minutes, I think, not made a tackle. So like there'd be one nearby, I'd be like, there we go, like that. And I'd do that 3 or 4 times, and it would always say like 6 tackles, John. Doing well there, son. You know what I mean? It was like
You've never made one.
Never made one. Just touched 3 rooks. Because it just goes by that, like, because the computer picks it up.
Okay.
So it's just whoever's involved in it.
I didn't realise
So
that.
if you're a hooker and that, and you really want to get your tally up, you just be like, oh, there we go.
Yeah. Going in at second marker or something, just before the tackle's complete. And
should be the first person who brings them down, the first contact.
Yeah,
that would sort it out a bit more. Whereas this, honestly, because I used to do it. I can remember once, I think I got 14 tackles from the wing.
Right.
And I didn't make one. And I can remember when they do the video analyst, he was saying, good tackle on this wing. I thought, you've not watched that video because I've not made one.
The only person who didn't miss a tackle is John. So we're going to look at John's clips from the from the video now. Show him how he didn't miss a tackle, John. Like you say, just 14 of doing that.
Touching rooks like that.
Full sets. No wonder he hasn't made a fucking tackle.
Someone explained that to me, how the computer, and I picked something, I thought, I'd say exactly what I'm doing. Probably I never got picked.
But
Maybe start tackling. Instead of just touching rooks.
Here he goes, the creepy get putting his hand on rooks and stuff like that.
Taking my hands away from my mouth because I'm through.
Oh, you went off with chilblains once, didn't you? Oh no, sorry, chaplips.
In Scotland, the weather, like you think the north of England weather's bad, play rugby in Scotland, times it by 10. You'd go up there and you'd be like, are we playing in this? Like, are we actually playing rugby in this? And it was one time, it was sleet, rain, the pitch was like a swamp. And they said, we've got to play it 60 minutes and then it'll stand, because we were in like loads of different cups and that.
Yeah.
So we had to play the game. And I've never been cold. I couldn't even like feel my hands. And then you went in the shower, it started burning. So we had to, because
chilblain.
We couldn't get in the shower for so long after it, and that you're like, my God. Especially being, I can remember I scored right at the start, and then after that I just hid. Because I just thought, I don't want to be a part of this. It was that wet, like when you're playing, you couldn't tell who was who. And
yeah, I hate them sort of games.
They were like putting bombs up, and it just wasn't bouncing the ball.
Just slapping.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They're literally, I always liked when I played rugby, so I played up there a couple of times, but it was never out like that. But whenever I played rugby, and people didn't like it as well, they'd like the rugby, especially rugby union, but rock hard ground. I used to think I'd rather be running on rock hard ground, even if I'm busting my elbows and knees up. You're more up for it when it's sunny. You want to play when it's a quagmire and it's pissing down. I used to just think,
I think the weather.
I'd rather do anything.
Yeah.
Than this.
Every Saturday now.
I'd rather be a shirt lifter than a shirt puller. To be honest.
The weather now, it just rains every Saturday. Very rarely on a Saturday. It's nice, is it? Like when we used to play rugby, every odd Saturday was raining. Now it's just every odd Saturday's all right.
I think you're onto something here.
Do you think the government's ruining the weather?
Do you
think?
I think he was leaning on this.
Well, I wasn't actually. But there's talking about the Northern Lights. Like, why have we got Northern Lights? I've not looked into this one bit, but I've seen someone saying, because they can change the weather, government, can't they? They've got machines and that can do weather. And they're saying it's something to do with that. Like the government have created some, I don't know what that is, but
it's almost like some
bit of a malfunction
product or something after.
Because we've got better Northern Lights in Whitehaven now than Iceland. We used to pay $1,000. Like Iceland's tourism must just die now.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, it's dead expensive to get. Like,
and Norway and everywhere, like you say, you go up the Arctic Circle to see, and I always fancied doing it. To go up to Norway and to do that, it was kind of on my bucket list because I thought it was amazing. And you maybe catch a glimmer, and don't get me wrong, some of them must be amazing, absolutely fantastic up there. But the ones this week we've had, I've never seen any pictures from Norway or Iceland like that. They were so vivid, and it was like, remember when your TV screen used to go all them different colours when you were kidding? It's like that, wasn't it? Absolutely mental.
It's weird though, because you're like, wow, this is absolutely amazing.
But why now?
And then you just go back in the house and you're like, you don't do it long, do you? Like, I felt like, do I have to look at this longer? Or you're like, 30 seconds.
That I've got not appreciation.
Like, we live in the fells. We could have went up a mountain and just done it amazingly, couldn't you? But it was just a little quick out the window. It's good, isn't it?
I didn't even see them.
Nah,
and I'm the person saying I wanted to go to Norway and stuff. Because, again, we talk about social media a lot, don't we? But phones and stuff, you've already seen it. It's already spoiled for me because that's all that was on my Facebook feed was pictures of the Northern Lights. I was just scrolling through it like this.
How big's your screen? Oh, God.
Well, we talked about getting older, haven't we? Like,
just put my readers on. Oh, big uns.
My old I love it. Old people trying to use technology, which we'll soon be falling into.
Well, we are, don't we? Like TikTok, how bad was
Yeah.
it? Like when I first did that, you're like, oh God, I'm such a dinosaur on this. And
we're still not as bad as our old lads can be. My dad, he's like, you read that text for us off his phone, and on a screen, normal size screen like that, it's zoomed in that much. You've got to spell it out. It only has one letter on each screen, like a massive T. I was like, what is going on with this? Like, if your eyes are that bad, you should have a blue badge for one or something, Dad, because you're blind. But it comes to us all.
I was just going to say, in a few years, but won't be that long.
No.
Can't believe I'm ancient.
I've again, back to the haircut, but there's a reason I didn't get any off the top. It wasn't just because of skin you at the Turkish barbers. I got the sides done because that's where all my greys are coming in.
Right.
And I don't look like a silver fox. I look more like a fucking mongrel. I've got it looks all right. Like I'm guessing you'll suit it because you've got dark hair. Most people with dark hair.
I've got pure grey hairs around here. Like if I didn't think this would just be like.
Is it? Yeah.
Pure like. My old lad was the exact same. It's like a badger.
But it looks all right. I think on dark hair, it does look all right as you get on. But I'm going to call it mousy brown. Although someone did say on Instagram yesterday that I had ginger hair. And if I ever meet them, I'm going to fuck out with them. Where do you live? But it doesn't look as good when it's like grey hair.
No.
With mousy brown hair. It just looks, like I say, like a mongrel dog. Yeah.
Something to look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Balls getting lower, hair getting less.
Balls getting lower?
That's another thing to get for you. We'll finish on one last one. I don't know if you've seen the story with a guy who was addicted to gambling and he sold his baby for 700 quid for obviously some more goes.
Jeez.
No, I don't know how much babies cost, but it didn't seem like that much to buy a baby. It did 700 quid.
That is really...
And who do you sell it to? Do you put that on Facebook? I bet he put it on Facebook selling pages.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah? I bet someone asked him to deliver it.
Battered with him.
Is this still available? Can you give it a picture for size?
What's your returns policy? It cost me money.
Can you get a photo with it?
All the usual.
Can you check it's working? It's a baby, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. If you can if I pick it up right now, we knock it half price.
I like that one where that woman put a picture of Lado on saying, beware wary this guy was selling a washing machine. He come, wanted to check it was working, did his washing and then went.
Do you believe that one? No, I don't.
But it's just funny.
I did back in the day when it came out and I thought it was hilarious and I thought, to have the face to do that, to go get your clothes washed and walk off. And I think, someone actually said to us, you don't think that's real, do you? I took another second to think about it and come to the conclusion that
there's a lot of them on there, and a lot of them are fake on there and stuff like that, but it's still funny.
They're brilliant. I
like Lado when he says, I think he's a Barnsley fan, isn't he? Saying, next time you come to Barnsley, he said, I'll Chinese burn your neck.
He's got a neck like a giraffe.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying that these are like famous memes. I do like just a thing on Facebook selling pages though. Before we started doing this, I used to like winding people up. So if there's like a dog cage or something for sale, just putting the odd comment like, "How many kids could you fit into this?" Like that, just to see what replies that you can get.
Well, the thing with that Facebook selling page, I sent you that one the other day. A guy selling a mirror, and he's just sat. Fat guy just took a photo. Just in the mirror. I thought, just do it from the side or something. You didn't need your like shirtless body in that photograph.
I'm still selling it as well. Clip that one up nicely. Right, yeah. So like we said, there's going to be more of these. We'll attempt to get one done every week.
Getting your real news.
Yeah.
Presented by idiots. That's what we're going for.
Yeah. But probably more authentic than the BBC, to be fair.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least we haven't got an agenda. Well, we have.
Well, we have, yeah.
Makes us money.
We want you to watch YouTube, sign up to our Patreon.
Yeah.
So if you do enjoy it, in all seriousness, we do put a longer form on Patreon. We're going to keep doing these, keep sharing the question segments. yeah, just follow us wherever you can. Thank you.
Thank you.